on the road and takes on the Florida Gators. The Florida Gators looked much improved against Texas A&M over the weekend. It's a 3 o'clock game, Central, on the SEC Network. Florida is favored by 8 points. The over-under is at 59. Anthony Richardson, shocker, Billy Napier is a heck of a coach. So Florida's gotten better as the season goes on. South Carolina, they're winning games. They got 6 or 7 wins, but they're not particularly good. I still think Florida might have the upper hand on this one, right, boss man?
Yeah, I think they do. Your audience, if they've watched for a little while, knows that Hank and I are Aggies. If you haven't watched before, we went to Texas A&M, it's just like Texas A&M to make anybody look like a Heisman candidate against them. And Anthony Richardson has struggled most of the year. Last week he goes out against A&M in Kyle Field and looks like he was going to win the Heisman. He played great last week. A&M had about 19 players or something, maybe up to 30, depending on how many or which reporter you looked at on Twitter, out in that game. So they were a little bit depleted. However, A&M had still a lot of talent out there playing on that defensive side of the ball, and Anthony Richardson played great. Etienne got going on the ground. And when you look at it, I mean, South Carolina, to me, they really just aren't that good of a football team. I mean, they played well against Vanderbilt last week, and I'm sure there's some Gamecocks watching. They can comment and pull up the video last week of me saying that Vandy was going to catch them. But I was wrong on that one, but I haven't been wrong about the Gamecocks much, elsewhere this year. I picked A&M against them too, but that's another matter. The other games this year, like they have all these wins, but it hasn't necessarily been against the best competition when you look at their schedule and where they've gotten those wins. Florida is improving. Florida looks better. Their defense played well against Texas A&M in that second half after getting gashed early on the ground by Devon Achane last week. So I just don't think that South Carolina really has the horses to get this one done. South Carolina, to me, in games like this, needs to have happen what happened against Texas A&M, which is they need a special team score. They need a defensive score. They need something else because the offense just really isn't that good at the end of the day. So I think Florida gets the win in this one. I think Anthony Richardson is able to get going again, looks good again this week, and keeps improving and takes a beating to South Carolina.
All right, Hammer, final thoughts and predictions.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know I don't like to keep agreeing here, but I'm on the same page. South Carolina, Alex really laid it all out. They're not a team I trust to go on the road with Spencer Rattler and win a big game. Apologies, Vanderbilt. That's not a very big game that they just won. Anthony Richardson looked great last week, so maybe that's something he can build on. I do really think that's what it comes down to, right? The quarterback play. If Anthony Richardson plays well, Florida will win. I suppose if Spencer Rattler, plays extremely well, South Carolina's got a chance. I just don't really see that happening. I think being at home, Florida will win this game and cover.
Okay, boss man, you said you like Florida. You have any final thoughts on it, and how do you feel about them against the spread?
Yeah, I'm going to take Florida to cover here. I've taken covers all the way tonight. I think, although I may have missed Alabama, but. I'm taking Florida to cover in this one. I just think that overall, I think that rushing game that they were able to establish against A&M last week, I think they'll be able to do that again against South Carolina. I like Etienne in the run game. I like Anthony Richardson in the run game. And I like Anthony Richardson to be able to have a decent day through the air as well. So I'm going to take Florida in this one. I don't trust Spencer Rattler. I don't trust the South Carolina offense. And the fact that them, in my opinion, needing to get a defensive touchdown or a special team score in order to win, I just don't think you can count on that. So I'm going to take the Gators.
All right, that's South Carolina at Florida at 3 o'clock Central on the SEC Network. That'll be on the other side of the Ole Miss-Alabama game. Florida is an 8-point favorite. The over-under is at 59 points. Should be a lot of fun. Check back in about an hour, and we'll have our preview up for Georgia at Mississippi State. Stick around.